Hello, everyone. Welcome to day one of level one. My name is Isabella, and I will be your instructor for today. Okay, so before we start, I'd like to just very quickly check the sound and just to see everyone can see me nice and clear. Okay, so apparently everyone can hear me. That's great. Let's have a look and see how many people there are in this class, watching this class. So there's about 400 of you. That's excellent. And I assume that some of you are here for the first time, and then some of you are here to revise the class content, as we didn't have any class in December last month due to the classes due to the event in Thailand, which was very successful, by the way. And so now we're back, January 2024. And this will be our first English class of this year. All right. Now, if you're here for the first time, then of course you're welcome to, tuned in to the content. Is actually very necessary for you to stay throughout this class. It's not just about the activation that I will be giving you at the end of this class, but it's also about the content that you need to understand and you need to really explore to find the best way possible for you to practice this method. And if you're just here to revise, let's say if you've already done level one and now you're here to retake this class, or if you're in level 2, 3, 4, and 5, and you're here to just listen to the content, then that's wonderful as well. But I do need to clarify to everyone that this is a level 1 class. And so what that means is that the content is, of course, for level 1 participant, and the energy activation is specifically for level 1 participant. And those who have not completed any class before, and this is your first time here. And so during the activation, if anyone here who are in level 2, 3, and 4, and 5, then please do not receive the energy activation. And I will certainly clarify that before I activate everyone. Because the activation is strictly for level 1 participant and, of course, beginners who are just here for the first time. Now, before we start this class, I'd like to remind everyone, because sometimes it can be a little bit, I guess, challenging or inconvenient for you, but please do register before you come into class. Now, if you're already here and you did not register, that's okay. You can just, go back and register after this class before tomorrow's class. It's just that so we understand who's interested in our class. And of course, because we're live on YouTube and Facebook for level 1 and 2. So you can certainly watch this without the registration, but we highly recommend that you do so. Okay. And because it is broadcasted live on YouTube and Facebook, so if you're interested and if you know a family member or friend who's really interested in NLG, or you just like to share this with them so that you can have so that they can have a listen and they can, I guess, explore this method, then that is excellent as well. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow our Facebook and YouTube, NLG, Energy University, so that you can get yourself updated with our latest post, announcements, class events, etc. Okay, and then later on, I will certainly show you our Telegram QR code, because the formulas and a lot of announcements as well as post, we will post them on our Telegram groups. And so if you haven't already downloaded Telegram to your device, then please do so after this class. And then, of course, I'll show you the QR code. Okay. Now, level 1 of NLG consists of 2 sessions. So it'll be today and tomorrow's session as well. And you are required to complete both sessions in order to be considered as complete level 1 fully, because within the 2 activations, they're very different. Okay, so you will receive 2 activations from me throughout this level 1 today and tomorrow, a total of 2 energy activations, but they're very different. So you have got to receive both of them. Now, just a brief self-introduction. As I said, my name is Isabella, and I am a level 1 and 2 English instructors here at NLG. I started with NLG in 2021. At the very start, I was just an NLG participant like many of you. I started from level 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 5 being the highest level up until now. I recently participated in the latest level 5, which is really amazing. And so throughout my journey with NLG, of course, there's a lot of great things that happen, not just for me, but for the people around me as well, for my family. And so as I apply NLG to my life, and many different things, and I get to see for myself, I get to experience this method for myself, and from there I decide that I want to do something to give back. And so that's why I volunteer with NLG, and gradually I become an instructor. Okay, so this is not for me to I guess teach, but it's a space for me to share with everyone. And so do look at this as a very safe, friendly, loving space where we get to share with each other about this amazing method. Okay. Now, just a basic introductions of NLG before we actually start with our class content and the slides. So first of all, I like to just lay out, how we're going to participate in this class. So of course, during this foundation level, I guess, I will give you very basic introduction of NLG. I will talk about, the core elements of NLG. And so we will go through all of the, I guess, theory and explanations. And I'll give you examples and try to link that to our, real life, how we're going to apply, how we're going to practice this method. And then what I'll do is at the end of this class, I will activate you. And so if you know about NLG through, I guess, your friends or your family member, then they would have probably already told you about activation. So that is when I will give you very thorough instructions of how to do that. And so basically that is for you to have to then have the ability to utilize the formulas of NLG and the energy frequency that we've been talking about. And so throughout all of these, parts of these classes is really important. So, and particularly at this level, level 1 and 2 is very important that you understand very thoroughly what it is that we're doing here and how to not just extend, but, improve your practice as you go. And so this level is really essential. Now, something that you do need to know about NLG is it is a practice-based method, and it helps us to benefit ourselves in many different aspects. So, for example, health. And for many participants, actually, when they come into NLG, the first things that they experience is a difference, is improvement for their health. And from there, and even at level 1, okay? Now, other than that, NLG, you can also apply it to many other different fields. And currently, NLG has 5 class level, as I briefly mentioned just now. So from level 1 to level 5. And in order to proceed to the next class, of course, you have to fully complete the previous class, for example. And that means that you need to receive all of the energy activation as required. Okay, so for example, in order for you to proceed to level 2, then of course you need to complete level 1, and level 1 consists of 2 sessions with 2 energy activation, and you're required to participate in both of them. Then level 2 consists of only 1 session. Okay, so if you miss out on level 2, then of course you have to wait for the next one. And then level 3 consists of 3 sessions, 3 days. Level 4 consists of 5 sessions, and then level 5 consists of 13 sessions. And generally, we can do level 1 and 2 online. Mr. Lei has run level 3 online as well, sometimes in person, sometimes online. And we will specify that for each of the level 3. Okay, and then generally level 4 and 5 requires you to participate in person. Okay, so for example, we have level 4 and 5. Say we have level 4 in Malaysia, we have level 4 and 5 in the US, we have it in Thailand, and Europe as well. Okay, but we're certainly, and so that's why it's really important that you follow our Facebook and YouTube so that you understand and you can be up to date with our events. Okay, now children as young as 8 to 12 years old, they can also participate in NLG. Okay, and actually I will show you this slides because this is a great summary. Just for you to have a look. Okay. So for children as young as 8 to 12 years old, they can certainly participate in NLG, but they need to have parental supervision. And of course, the parents need to be NLG participant as well, so you understand exactly what it is that's required, and you can support your child throughout these progress. And the thing with young children learning NLG is that we need to help them to understand what it is that they're doing, so that they don't get bored and they don't get frustrated. Okay, because if they don't understand what it is that they're doing, then they get bored very easily if they don't practice correctly, and then they don't experience the improvement, the differences that we've been talking about, then they could become frustrated. So just like many other things, parental supervision is certainly required. And other than the 5 class levels, there are, of course, 3 very special programs for you to join later on if you're interested. So the first one is to apply NLG to agriculture, forestry, and fishery. Of course, this will benefit a lot of people working in that field, and it will also help our local farmers to thrive and for their products to be in the best condition possible and to be distributed to the community. The second program is assisting couples to have intelligent, healthy babies, as well as to I guess, support and care for infertility concerns. Now, both of these programs require participants to have completely, fully done level 3 or above. Okay, and in particular, the second program, which is the baby program, it requires that both partners need to participate at least to level 3, and both of you need to participate in this baby program, not just one or the other, but both of you, so that you can maximize the outcome. And the third program is the instructor training program, which is very closely selected by Mr. Lei himself, for us NLG participant to become NLG instructor. And this particular program requires you to have to complete level 4 or above. Okay, so that's something to note. And NLG is the initial, and it stands for năng lượng gốc in Vietnamese. So it means the original energy source. Okay, and of course, it inspires, it empowers you to improve your mental and physical health. It helps you to learn of the techniques of how to connect to the energy source, and it requires you to also practice regularly as instructed to achieve the desired outcome. Now, something else to note is that NLG, as I've said, is a practice-based method. So what that means is that you need to practice it every single day. Okay, it's just like food that you eat and the water that you drink. And NLG is not political. It is not religious. So be very mindful of that when you share information about NLG with other people so that they can have a very precise understanding of what NLG is about and what NLG can help us with. And for mini level 1 and 2 participant, if they do come in with an illness, with a condition, then the majority of people actually experience various degree of health improvements already, even at level 1 and 2. But the point is how you approach this method. Okay, so if you approach it with care, with love, and with an interest, then you're more likely to, get some, get good things out of it. But if you come here with, being hesitant and you're doubtful, and you're not real, as in you're here, but you're not really here, then of course you won't be able to understand all of the content, and you won't be able to understand how to actually use the formula to support yourself. Okay. Now, something about our NLG founder, because Mr. Lei is our energy founder, and he used to teach level 1 and 2 himself until we got more and more trained instructor, and then that's when he decided that he'll just teach level 3, 4, and 5. Okay, just sharing the workload and helping him out. Now, something about our founder, Mr. Phúc Lê. He was born in Bien Hoa province of Vietnam, which is now Dong Nai province. And at the age of 22, he joined his family and moved to the US. And then he has this great chance to learn from a very special master who taught him about NLG. And then he applied. He saw amazing outcomes for himself. He's a very kind, humble man. And so after seeing all of these great results, he started sharing it with people, and more people, practice NLG, and they also see the improvements that he's been talking about. And then at the start of 2020, he went to Vietnam, and together with NLG volunteers, they start to organize classes, from small ones to, larger ones. And then in 2021, he returned to the US, and he continued to, organize classes online and offline. Although he's been teaching this method, but he wishes that people would just address him as Mr. Lei, or in Vietnamese, we would call him Uncle Phúc, rather than teacher or master, because those phrases, he said that he's not very comfortable with them. He's not a teacher and he's not a master. He's just simply Mr. Lei, and he said that he's a technician. Visualize him as a technician who connects you to this great method, and that if you learn anything, then of course he would just share with us so that we can get to also apply this method and benefits ourselves as well as other people. Okay. Now, before coming into the, more content, I do have a few things, just a disclaimer for everyone to know, and I will just share this once today. Okay. So these are some of the recommendations. So first of all, please arrange to attend the course on time to receive the activation fully. Being on time also show respect for the instructor and everyone in class. Also, it will help to avoid network congestion when too many people decided to join at the same time. Number 2, choose your study space. Please set up your study space in a quiet place away from distractions during the activation and practice session. Number 3, copyright energy content without our permission is prohibited. Please do not record or distribute our video lecture online without our consent. All online courses will be recorded for tracking purposes on our energy platform. 4, you can attend our course by phone, laptop, iPad. Ensure that you check your device before attending our online classes. 5, we will have time for question at the end of the course if anyone's interested. So please save your question until the end. Okay. Okay, so this I have already gone through with you. Now, NLG techniques and information is for educational purposes only and cannot be substituted for the advice or care of a medical professional. It does not replace doctors' diagnoses and medical treatment. We recommend that participant consult a doctor before undertaking alternative health improving method. Will not accept any liability or warranty, will not be responsible to any individual if you do not see any improvements. NOG participants are responsible for their current state of health and would need to monitor their progress. Energy participants need to have self-awareness and follow the instructions and formulas to achieve desired outcomes. Okay. So those are some of the, I guess, housekeeping things I need to share with you. Now, before we start, which we're already 20 minutes in. Okay, so now I will, what I'll do is for us to have a fresh start to this course. What I'll do is I'll give you healing energy. Okay, now Mr. Lay, remember that Mr. Lay also sent out healing energy in about an hour and 30 minutes as the usual schedule. Okay, so but during this class for level 1 participant, I will send out this healing energy to you so that you can be in a ready and fresh and in the best state possible, basically, for us to start with our class content. Okay, now the condition is that if you haven't received any healing transmission for the past 6 hours, then you can receive this one from me. Now, this is not the energy activation that we've been talking about. Okay, it is not that. This is very different. This is only a healing energy transmission for you to receive right now. And so what you do is that you look into my forehead, okay, and then you visualize energy going from mine, going into yours, and then you just let that energy absorb and it flows throughout your body as it wishes. You can recite in your head that you wish to receive this healing energy, okay? And of course, this is only effective in real time, as I will be transmitting the energy to you now. Okay, so I will go ahead and I will send you this healing energy. As I've said, you can just look at my forehead. You visualize energy going from my forehead into yours, and you keep going for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I will set my timer. So I will tell you when time is up. And this, and I have to emphasize again and again and again, that this is not the energy activation, everyone. This is only a healing energy transmissions that I would like to send you at the start of this class so that we can start fresh. Okay? All right, so let's get ready and we'll start now, everyone. Of course, I will have my eyes closed, but you can open your eyes so that you can look at me. Okay? All right, so let's get started. Okay, so we have just completed the healing energy transmission. All right, so let's get started with the content. Okay, I'll just share my screen very quickly. All right, so in level 1 and 2, of course, we'll start with talking about our logo and what they mean. Okay, so you can see here that energy has three logos. So the first one on the left-hand side here, this is the Cosmic Divine Light logo. In the middle, we have the Energy University logo. And then the last one is the Loving Home logo. And so these logo in these order were introduced to us, fully in their latest version in April 23rd of 2023. Okay, and which is a really important day for NOG, which is the grand opening of the NOG Center in California. And on that day, Mr. Lee shared with us that he's able to unlock the third code of the Cosmic Divine Light logo, which results in the perfect white circle at the center of this logo here, representing cosmic light that embraces all beings. Now, if you look back at previous classes, or actually if you continue with energy and you get to level 3, Mr. Lei will explain to you the development, or his, in other words, his journey to unlock all of the codes of this pattern here, that was once called Chom Dong. In other words, and that's Vietnamese. So in English, it is bronze drum pattern, which is a concept that probably some of you might have heard of. But actually at the start, at the center of this pattern here, there used to be 14 arrows, looks like a big sun. And then Mr. Lee gradually decoded, trying to unlock the energy within. And so he'll explain further in level 3. He'll walk you through all of the how and why and what when it comes to this particular logo here, which is really, really interesting. And then you have a better understanding of how he's able to harness this energy source. And contained within this cosmic divine light is, of course, the energy source that brings us a lot of great lessons that would take you to practice, to enable, from theory into practice, or from energy into actual products here at the Energy University. This is where all of the knowledge and wisdom becomes more visible for you to see them, for you to experience them and feel them. And there's no limit to the energy of the cosmic divine light, which is why it allows us to do all sorts of incredible things. And when I say incredible things, of course, only if we do it correctly. Okay, because you cannot take this energy to do negative things. The frequency wouldn't match. And so this is the frequency of love and of morality. And so you can only do things according to those elements. And you cannot take this energy to do something that's personal, to do something that would harm other people. Simply, this energy would not support you in that sense, because you won't match with the frequency. And so therefore you won't be able to utilize it. And then once we're able to, start from energy and enable these great products and services and all the things that we get to enjoy, then of course it helps us to build and maintain and support the loving home, which is the logo on the right-hand side here. So the loving home logo portrays a family with parents and children. All of them have a very special connection with one another. That is the genuine bond, the genuine love at its purest form. And there's 13 heartbeats here, as you can see, representing 12 months in a year. And then the 13th heartbeat indicates humanity's energy connection to the outer space civilization, relating back to this cosmic divine light from outer space. And then you see a little roof here at the top. and that represent the necessity of material benefits that we all need to have, we all need to afford, so that we can maintain a healthy, safe, and balanced life. Okay, which is very realistic. Now, probably two of the most asked question that us instructors actually come across. So number one, some people ask that how can we make sense of this, what you call outer space civilization? Like, what is it? What does it look like? And then number two is that where does this energy source actually come from? You said that it's cosmic divine light, but where does it actually comes from? Now, at this beginner level, I would just give a very simple explanation, so that it will prepare you for the next level without overwhelming you. Okay, the outer space civilization, you can visualize that as a country or a community, if you wish, and they're so advanced, so far away from us, contain of beings of energy, who exist in very sophisticated way, with very sophisticated level of wisdom, technology, and science, virtues, etc. Everything about them is more advanced. Okay, so it's very much like they see through all of the things that we do. But then having all of that ability, having that energy, they have more than enough resources to support us. Okay, and the good news is they're here to support us. Okay, so that's why we get to harness this energy. That's why we get so that's why we get this connection, which can be very easily given. Okay, but we need to understand the techniques of how to get there. Okay, so I'll just leave it at that in terms of the outer space civilization. And then as you get to level 3, level 4, level 5, Mr. Lee will explain it to you in more details. And you have got to do this, taking this little baby steps, because I understand that for many of you, energy is very new. So I do not wish to overwhelm you with tons of information. And it is best for you to, take these steps and to refine your understanding of energy and pair that with practice, so that it's not just about the theory, but actually giving yourself time to experience it, and then you will know. Okay, now this energy source has existed for a very long time. Okay, and it has actually been incorporated into our lives a long time ago. But the important thing is that we need to understand which frequency. Okay, so the energy source is already here, but which frequency that we can use to enable all of these amazing things. And you can think about this. They're not actually like a school system, but you can think about it as like a school system. So the energy frequency, let's say, you can think about it, is that they have different levels. For example, kindergarten, primary school, middle school, high school, university, etc., etc. So they go in those sort of levels. So it's just a way for us to visualize it, so that we're not puzzled as to how do we interpret this energy. Now, whichever frequency that you will get, it depends a lot on how you practice your love and morality, and it will certainly contribute greatly to yourself, to your country, and to your community. And here, NOG, our mission, okay, as Mr. Lei has always mentioned, is that we look to resolve these 3 issues for humanity. So first one is wars and conflicts, poverty and hunger, illness and diseases. Okay, so energy source help to resolve these 3 issues. And I guess these are three of the issues that many of us are very much interested in. I mean, we see it in our everyday life, right? And unfortunately, for some of us, we actually experience it in our everyday life as well. And I guess on a personal level, as well as on a larger scale, everyone has been looking at solutions, potential um, solutions as to how we can overcome these issues and how to enable happiness for everyone and well-being. And so our vision here at NLG is that if every one of us get to learn NLG together, we practice together as a community, then hopefully we can see these problems resolved very soon with a very high success rate. Because as I explained to you, probably you understand, because NLG helps you to be a better version of yourself. It's not just asking other people to be good, but it actually helps you to be a better person, a better version of yourself. And with you as an individual, and imagine other individual doing the same thing, which made up an entire community. And within that community, it relates to a country. And then overall, as humanity, right, then we get to improve ourselves in ways that we're actually conscious. We don't necessarily need to have other people to monitor, to supervise us, right? We're our own supervisor in how we act, in how we behave. Now, if you think about these three problems on a larger scale, I guess some of you would probably say, you know what, I'm fortunate enough that I don't, and I'm privileged, and I know that, and it's I'm very lucky not to have to experience any of these things, or most of these things. But I encourage you to think about this from a more personal perspective. Okay, so first of all, if we talk about illnesses and diseases, that's very straightforward, because not only we see other people suffer from different illnesses, but many of us suffer from the illness ourselves. And we're trying to, some of us, we recover, and then the condition recur. For some of us, we have to go through a lot of pain, lots of stress. And for many of us, still, we're trying to find a way to cope with the conditions that we're having. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward. This is a huge issue, really, that I guess not many of us are free from. Okay, we always have to deal with something in terms of illness and diseases. And if we talk about wars and conflicts, of course, if we look at it from a larger, point of view, from a more general point of view, and if you've been, keeping up with the news lately, then you understand what's going on. But if we're talking about this from a more personal perspective, then of course we experience conflict pretty constantly, really. Within our family, could be with a family member, or could be with a colleague, with a friend. And sometimes everything seems fine, but then deep down, you know that you just pretend to be okay. And there's always that unresolved business with someone in your life that either you're looking to resolve, but you haven't found anything that actually works for you, or you just pretend, or you try to ignore it. You try to try to push that thoughts out. But the moment that something happened, or if you hear something, you see something, it triggers you. And this is not a space to judge or condemn, or to conclude that you're this or you're that. But this is a space for you to just be very honest with yourself that, yes, there are unresolved businesses, and I'm looking for a way to resolve this. And I'm very, actively participate so that I can be a better version of myself. and I can be my own supervisor in this. No one needs to tell me what to do because I'm actively and I'm consciously improving myself. Okay, so conflicts, of course, we're not free from it, and many of us look to overcome it. Okay, and then when we talk about poverty and hunger from a more personal perspective, I know that many of you out there that could have great difficulties trying to earn money to meet the basic needs. You need to feed your family, you need to ensure that you have a stable source of income. Many people still live under poverty, even in the most advanced country, for example, the US. We see people on the street every day, not having enough food, shelter, not having enough, warm clothes on very cold weather. So those sort of things not only that we see other people having to suffer, but maybe many of you are actually under that condition that you're barely that you're barely getting through your life, and not being able to afford these things. Okay, so how do we go about solving these issues? Now, the elements to have, which are outlined on the screen here. So, of course, we need to have genuine moral values. Okay, and this is part of energy as well. Is that for some of you, you might think that that's quite cliche, right? That we talk about morality and love, but in order for you to come into this method that everyone has been talking about is very effective, then you need to understand the core elements of these method. And the core elements are actually morality and love, okay, which we break it down for you here. So when it comes to morality or moral values, this is something that you need to maintain and prioritize. And it feels like a given that I even need to say that, but a lot of the time we don't prioritize this. Okay, so let's say if something happened, immediately we let our emotion take over, and then we would do things that we later on regret. And so that's why I say that we need to prioritize our moral values in all situations. And of course, we're all very familiar with this, but we need to be, I guess, in a way, be more realistic about how we actually practice our moral values. Because if we've been doing things right, and if all of us has been able to maintain our moral values, then we need to speculate, why do people still hurt each other? Still do things that clearly doesn't reflect these values. And so people may interpret moral values in many different ways, and they give reasons as to why something happened and then why they do certain things. But here NLG, it's really important for us to train ourselves to prioritize our moral values, because then it leads to the behaviors, to the responses that we will give in a situation. And then the other things that will help to resolve these three issues are the 5 forms of love. Okay, now, before you come into NLG, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter whether you actually love other people or not, or that you show your love to other people. But what's important is that once you come into NLG, that you're encouraged to adapt to a more loving behaviors, okay, that matches with the loving nature of NLG, the loving elements of NLG. Now, if you've been practice love, okay, and that you actually oftentimes, or usually or always smile at other people, help other people, do tons of acts of kindness, then that's excellent. Then just refine that more to elevate it, okay, as you practice NLG. But if you haven't been able to do that, then this is the chance for you to learn about it, and this is the chance for you to start doing it. It is not about thinking that, oh, maybe other people would judge me for doing this. But this is for yourself, okay? If you decided that you're very serious about your practice of NLG, you want to come in, you want to make sure that you get the most out of this, then this is the chance for you. So you need to make that decision. Okay, and at this foundation level, level one, it's really important to recognize these keys to help you to achieve your goals quicker and better when you come into NLG, building a really good foundation of knowledge for you to then thrive. Okay, so I guess that level one and two, some of the content may seems a little repetitive at times, but is absolutely essential. Now, talking about the 5 forms of love, so here you can see that the 5 forms of love, we break it down into, so number 1, self-love. Number 2, love for family. 3 is love for country. 4 is love for humankind. And 5 is love for all living things. Okay. Now, the reason why we break it down for you in this sequence, and in this particular sequence, is for you to then understand and try to master and refine these forms of love as you go. And because they're in this order, so of course, the first thing that we will learn to refine is self-love. Now, I understand that for some of you, you might think, like, why is it that self-love comes first? Like, wouldn't that be like the last thing that we're trying to refine because we need to put other people above ourselves? But let me just be very realistic with you here, okay? How would you support other people, or how would you even try to fulfill the things that you want, the dream that you have, if you yourself are not in a state that is fit to do so? Okay, so it could be that you say that you want to take care of your family, you want to take care of this person, that person, you want to do this, and your dream is this. But if you yourself struggle mentally and physically, then that would be the opposite of what you want to do. And you won't be able to carry out all of these tasks that you want. And you probably end up having, other people supporting you, helping you throughout because of your mental and physical state. And so that's why the first thing that we look at and the first thing that we need to practice, this is not for you to just understand, but for you to practice, is to take good care of yourself. And you need to do that consistently. Okay. Now, when you're conscious of the idea, some of us go to great extent to take good care of ourselves. We build a routine, we build good habit. But then a lot of the time we're not happy. And this is, once again, goes to your mental state, is that if you're not happy, if something happened that occupies your mind, then you can neglect a lot of these things. For example, if you're not happy, then you're not eating, you're not sleeping well. So that's why self-love needs to be very consistent. And it needs to be a combination of mental and physical development as well. So when you have good energy for your mind and for your body, then that will reflect on the things that you do. You can achieve things much better. And so for level 1, at this level, you continue to work on the first 2 forms of love, which is self-love and love for family. Okay, so these are the 2 forms of love that you've got to, I guess, refine. You need to understand. And if you have not been able to practice these 2 forms of love, then you need to consider changing, okay? And to try to really work on these forms of love here. And then in level 2, you'll continue with the next one, which is love for country. And of course, as you move, right, throughout these 2 to practice and to refine these forms of love, let's say if you get to love for country, then that means that you still need to maintain very good practice of self-love and love for family. Okay, so it's not that you work on one thing and then you leave out the others. It has to be a very consistent things, okay, for all of the forms of love. And then from level 3 onwards, your goal would be the last 2. Okay, and as you get to a high class level, you have to refine all of these, even better. Now, when we talk about self-love, the thing is that trying to balance your mind and to maintain composure, okay, is also consider self-love, your energy. And it's actually really important because it helps you to be in a state that we call the +1 -1 frequency. When you're in a calm, loving state, then you will match with this +1 -1 frequency, which is very much like how our heart rate's resting at 60 to 80 beats per minute. So that's the frequency in which you can connect, you can receive this energy source most effectively. So this energy will then support the cells in your body. And when the cells in your body, I guess in a way you can say that when they connect to this energy, then it's like the food and the water that we consume, it's like the air that we breathe. And so this energy is very essential for the cells in our body. And once you understand the importance of energy for the cells in your body, then I guess you will more likely to prioritize and maximize your energy practice. Okay, by being in a calm, loving state and refining yourself throughout all of the situations that you encounter. And so that is self-love. And then how does that relate to love for family? Okay, so after you finish level 1, you will have a formula that allows you to support your family member. If they're okay with it, if they want to do it, okay, then you can support them. Now, additionally, you will learn to connect with your family much better because now you're a better version of yourself. You and I will self-love, okay? So you'll be more approachable. You'll be more lovable in a way. And so you get to connect with them better. And you understand that whatever happened, let's say if they're not happy with you, if they try to pick a fight, then you, on the other hand, you can still maintain yourself in a calm, loving way, and you resolve everything with love. Because I understand that for many of you, when we talk about love for family, is quite personal. And for many people, home is not really a home, right? Because they don't feel that warmth, they don't feel that connection with their family. And there's no real meaning to be with their family or to be with the loved one. And there are many reasons as to why things happen. And so when you become a better version of yourself, it doesn't matter what happened around you, but you learn to balance everything out, okay, with your energy, with your loving energy. And that would inspire and attracts other loving things to come to you, okay? It will certainly improve the relationship between one family member to the other when they see how you react, even though they say something or they behave badly. But if you don't try to retaliate, if you don't try to fight back, then, they would have to think about that as well. And everything will change for the better. You will motivate yourself to become better, and you will motivate them as well to become better. And we certainly have a very special formula for that as well. And I will explain to you tomorrow. And of course, if you want to have good things, you want to meet good people, you want to have good opportunity, then you've got to, be kind first. Okay, so you need to be the first one to show that kindness, to show that love. And of course, other than ourselves, our family is very close to us, and so that's why that is the second forms of love that we'll need to work on. And some of these things, I guess, when we're at this level, you might interpret these things as very insignificant. Okay, so why is it that I need to work within myself? Why is it that I need to start with myself? Why is it that I need to, care about my family when I feel like I've done greater things for our community? But these smaller things actually make great difference. And you try it, as now that I'm telling you this, it's necessary that you try it. You give it a go, you experience it, and then you will see the improvements that you've longed for. And then that's when, that's one of the reason why there's many energy participants keep coming back They retake classes, they listen to the content to, strengthen their understanding of energy as well as their practice, because they can see it is very effective when we do it this way. Now, the outer space civilization, who will be guiding us on this journey of, I guess, self-development, they are very, very precise and very fair. And so that's why Mr. Lay often say that we cannot cheat, that we cannot get away with the things that we do if we do things incorrectly. So the things that you say, the things that you do, for the most part, of course, is up to you. But be very careful. Be very careful before you act or before you say something, because there's always that attraction of energy. If you spread, bad energy, then you attract it. But there's also this karmic consequences. Okay, this is not to do with religion or anything like that. This is purely energy. So you attract these bad karmic energy or consequences because you've been spreading it. Okay, so that's why we encourage you that the first thing that you need to work within yourself, that is self-love. Okay, let's say that the things that happening around us, a lot of the time we cannot control, but what you can control and you should control is how you respond to people, how you respond to other things around you. Okay, so it could be a sunny day or a rainy day, but you can't really control that. But what you can control is that how you will view that, and whether you'll be saddened by it or you will still make the most out of it. So those are some of the things that I like to invite you to consider when you come into the practice of NLG. Now, I mentioned this briefly already, okay, but I would like to go into more depth because this is really, really important. So you heard me talking about the +1 -1 frequency just now. And the +1 -1 frequency of an NLG participant is the same as that of our Creator's love. Our Creator continuously sharing this loving energy with all of us. To receive this energy, you need to have enough wisdom to understand the 3 ends. So neither good nor bad, neither happy nor sad, neither love nor hatred. It all depends on your way of looking at things, living your personal preferences and personal emotion to embark on the soul journey of love. Okay, now as I've already mentioned, the +1 -1 frequency is absolutely essential, because you can think about this as the favorite frequency for the cells in your body. Okay, and I mentioned briefly about the cells in our body because a lot of people think that it is this energy that heals you, and it is this energy that support you and all of that, which is partially correct. But when it comes to the improvements and the transformation that a lot of people experience, something that we need to based on, something that we need to understand is the involvement of the cells in our body. Okay, so when we get connected to this energy source, what it does, it's actually like feeding the cells in your body that has been left neglected, hungry for this energy. And so when we practice, when we connect ourselves to this energy source, it's like feeding these cells. And then when these cells get stronger and more capable, then they will help us to, I guess, in a way, fix whatever it is that's wrong, that make us unwell. And so That's why it's important for us to receive this energy. But for us to receive it, to connect to it, we need to regulate ourselves according to the elements of energy, which are love and morality. And you'll know that if you connect to these elements, then that's when your practice can be most effective. Whereas if you're not in the +1 -1, you can sit there for hours, you can sit there for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, which is the standard practice time of energy formulas, and yet you won't get 100% of energy for sure. Because your energy, your connection, in other words, your frequency, your energy frequency, it's far from the +1 -1. Okay, so that's why you don't get to connect properly. Now, the +1 -1 frequency is a concept, okay, that can be trained, that can be formed through our flow of thoughts and our state of self-regulation. It's something that you create for yourself, that you need to train yourself to do, okay, through the practice of 5 forms of love and moral values. Now, the good news is that we're all very capable of it. We're all capable of being in the +1 -1 frequency. The reason why we can get to this frequency through love is because the state of love equals harmony, composure, and peace, all of that good things. So if you don't have love, then even if I activate you, even if you come into class and Mr. Lay activate you, but if you don't have love, you don't practice love, you don't look to improve yourself, then the outcome can be very limited still. Okay, so this is your own journey when you come into this method. You're not forced to do this, but you're recommended and you're invited to consider all of these things so that you can make the most out of this method. Now, when we say that you need to be loving, that you need to practice love and morality, what we mean is that through the way that you talk to people, okay, through the way that you treat other people, which is very, very important. And so that is love and morality. And so you've got to, understand these. And let's say in a situation and someone say something to you that's not very nice, then how would you respond? And so that actually helps you to evaluate your level of love and morality. So are you going to say something mean to them? Saying something back that's very, very mean? Will you insult them or anything like that? Or would you just, thank them and say, thank you for, saying that. And then you can just still be very happy and calm and just go and do your things. Okay. Or are you going to, retaliate later on? And so all of that marks your level of love and morality. Now, the thing is that it's not to say that we can't be upset, we can't be happy or excited. It's not that, because, of course, emotion is still part of us. But it's more so that it's about how we deal with our emotion. Let's say before that, if you get really upset, you can get upset for days and days or even months, okay, with someone, and that leads to those unresolved businesses that you have with other people. But now that you learn NLG, you understand the benefits of +1 -1 frequency. That is, it helps you to feed the cells in your body with this energy, to connect with this energy so that they can then help you. Okay. And to do that, you need to practice love and morality. And so when you understand how these things connect, and the importance of one thing that leads to the other, then I guess you're more likely to regulate yourself in the right frequency, because you know that is how you get that energy connection. And for that, you'll learn to maintain your composure more effectively. You're more willing to remain calm and to be more willing to let go of negative things, because you realize that is actually more valuable to be in that frequency than any other frequency. Okay. And also when you're angry, when you're depressed, of course, you know that that's not great for your body, it's not great for your mind, meaning that you're not considerate of yourself and the cells in your body as well, which actually breach the very first forms of love, which is self-love. Okay, so when you understand all of these things, and as you learn to become more and more conscious of these things, then I guess that it will helps you to improve that self-regulations that you've been looking for. Now, just talking a little bit more about about self-love, because some of you might say, well, you know, I've been look after myself, very well, but I don't know, whether these things, whether I need to be very fancy or something like that. Well, the thing is, let's say that in a day, other than when you're asleep, um, how many hours can you maintain yourself in the +1 - 1 frequency? Because maintaining this frequency is also part of self-love, okay? Because you understand, you improve yourself, and you're actually training yourself to do something that is incredible, okay? That's very beneficial and effective. And so this is also self-love. And so let's say if you don't encounter someone or something that irritates you, then for the most part, you can say that, oh, I'm a very calm person, I'm very loving. But you only really see how your love and morality reflect when something actually happened. Okay. And so I suggest that from now on, when you see someone being mean to another person, try to take that as a lesson. Don't repeat it. You don't need to repeat it yourself, and try to observe it and learn from that. Okay. Now, I think we're very close to finishing this class, and so I'll talk about this very quickly before I activate you, and also we'll practice the formula together. Okay, so the example of the egg and the chicken. So the necessary period for a chicken, for a chicken to, lay eggs is about 21 days. So the same thing and so this is only an example for you to visualize it better, and it's just was actually a comparison, okay, that you need to practice energy, and you need to do it consistently. You need to do it according to the instruction. For many of you, that you will feel these changes, these transformation when you're actually activated. Okay, some of you feel it very early on, but let's say for a mother hen, right? If she doesn't give her full 21 days, then the eggs cannot hatch. And so the point of this comparison is that consistency in your practice, meaning that you should practice regularly on a daily basis. And you practice based on how the formulas is given to you. You need to practice accurately, adequately, and consistently, something that Mr. Lay has always said. Now, if the formula instruct you to open your eyes while you practice, please do so, okay? And if it tells you to practice for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, please do so. The formulas that we share with you has been practiced, has been standardized, and it has been very effective for many, many participants, okay? And when we give out a formula to you, it is necessary that you do not change any of the wording or how it is practiced, okay? And you just practice according to how is according to the instruction. And if you have any question, then you can ask us on Telegrams, or you can just contact us via our hotline as well. Now, some people might ask, well, why is it that it's 5 minutes and 30 seconds? Well, it's actually the set time, everyone, that our founder, Mr. Lay, has studied and he has decided on. Is very much like asking, why does this phone operates on iOS and then the other phone operates in, on Android? And so that's because they've already programmed that way. So that's how we're going to practice. Okay, now, so we have pretty much completed the content for today's class. And so now, which is the, I guess, more interesting part of our class is the brain cell activation. So for day one of level 1, I will activate your brain cells. And the brain cells, as as we will talk about this, is basically it helps you to you get the first experience of your practice, and you'll feel slightly different, something different in your brain or your head. For example, you get a mild headache that could last for a few days, but it's not going to be irritating or anything like that. But when you feel something like that, it means that there's something different going on. Okay, and as you keep practicing, that feeling would gradually go away, and then you'll experience actually more and more improvement as you go, if you do it correctly. Okay, so I really need to emphasize that, because some people coming to us saying that, oh, I don't really experience the transformation that you've been talking about. And then we have a talk, and then we then realize that that person has not been doing the right things. Okay, still not practicing self-love, not practicing love in general. And so love and morality, remember that they are the core elements of NLG, and so it's absolutely important for us to understand as well as practice. Okay, so now I will activate everyone for the brain cell activation. I will share with you a demonstration video so that you know exactly how to receive these activations. So basically what you do is that I will close my eyes, you will have your eyes open, okay? And then you look at me through the screen, you look at my forehead, and basically what you do is you visualize energy from my forehead going into yours forehead. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then after this 3 times, then you visualize receiving energy 3 times into your brain like that. So after you're doing that, then you just continuously visualize energy going in, okay, non-stop. Okay, so you just visualize energy going into your brain, okay, like that, until I say stop. Okay, which I will set the timer, so don't worry. So when you can see that I still have my eyes closed and I'm still transmitting energy to you, I'm giving you that activation, then please continue to receive that energy into your brain, okay, into your forehead. Okay, so I hope that has been very clear. So that's generally how you will receive this activation from me. Okay, so I'll just repeat one more time, is that you look at my forehead, you visualize energy going from my forehead, okay, from my forehead, going into your brain continuously. Okay, that video only show you 3 times because it's a short video. But what you do is that you visualize it, okay, constantly going into your brain, okay, until I tell you that time is up, which means that when I open my eyes, okay. Now the activation will be, I will set my timer to 1 minute and 30 seconds, everyone. And this is brain cell activation for level 1 participant. Okay, so those in high class level who are just here to listen, for example, if you're already in level 2, 3, 4, and 5, then please do not receive this energy. Okay, you can turn it off for a few minutes and then come back in, or you can just look away. Okay, but do not receive this activation, please. This is for level 1 participant, and for people who are very new to NLG and this is their first time doing NLG. Okay, or if anyone who for some reason something happened and then you lost your energy connection and you're here to retake level 1 again, then of course do receive this activation. Okay, and then afterwards I'll show you the formula and we'll practice the formula together so you understand how to practice energy formula. Okay, All right. So this will be the brain cell activation. And our time is 1 minute and 30 seconds. Remember that I've already instructed you how to receive this activation already. So let's get started, everyone. Okay. Okay, so we have just completed the brain cell activation. Okay, and now let's practice the brain cell activation formula together. I will show it to you. So this is really exciting. This is the first formula for many of you. And so we'll go through it so that you know exactly how to practice energy formula. It's really exciting. Okay, now remember that this is the brain cell activation frequency formula. And something very special about this is that it's actually give you the first experience of practicing an energy formula. And we will only practice this formula together today, and we'll practice it and you can practice it in your own time before tomorrow's session. Okay, so after we start with tomorrow's session, with day 2 of level 1, we will no longer practice this formula. So really make good use of this formula. Try to feel that that energy coming in. And so it's really, really important. And it's actually an excellent, excellent experience for a lot of people, for you to feel that difference in your brain, in your body. And so we'll practice this formula right now. And then in your own time, you can practice this formula anywhere from 1 to 3 times on your own. And you can practice this formula consecutively, continuously, or with a few hours apart. Either way is fine. Something that you need to know is you need to sit somewhere that you feel calm and focused, because you're at level 1. And so some of you, in terms of focus, you still need to work on that. If you are distracted for more than 30 seconds, please start again. Start your timer again, okay? Please don't sit in front of a fan or aircon because you might not feel that warmth of energy very clearly when the air is blown right at you, and it can be very distracting as well. And because you'll be sitting there for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, you can blink, you can cough, you can sneeze, all of those things are fine, as long as you can still maintain your focus, okay? And participants who are unwell, meaning that you can't really sit, then you can lie down to practice, which is okay. And then something to note is that early on, when you receive this brain activation, if you feel your forehead is really tense, then there's this techniques that helps you to alleviate that. So you breathe in for 3 seconds and then you breathe out for 6 seconds. Okay, so 3 seconds into your nose, 6 seconds throughout your mouth. You do that 3 times. If you feel that mild headache, okay, that means that there's excessive energy and you just need to release it a little bit. While you practice, please open your eyes. Make sure that you follow the formulas very closely. And if you wonder why participants open their eyes and yet the instructors close their eyes, then that will be explained in higher class levels. Now, the practice duration. So for those of you who are above 18 years old, the practice duration will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And the ERC, which is a term that you will hear a lot, is actually Energy Reception Center. So it is at the back of your neck, okay? It's right here, okay? So this is the ERC here, okay? That you will hear us talk about a lot. When you practice the formula, you can recite the steps in your head. Then think about it in your head. You don't need to read it out loud, okay? So now I'll explain this formula to you. So we will break it down to 4 steps like this. And you will see that this is the basic format of energy formula. So we go through step 1, which you will recite silently once in your head. Receive cosmic divine light, new era energy, level 1 frequency band, brain cell activation frequency. And actually for all of these steps, you will recite everything in your head as well. And so think about the first step here as the command. And then step 2, receive energy into the brain. And then you receive first time, second time, third time, with 3 to 5 seconds each time, okay? Energy from outer space, that is, okay, entering your brain. And then step 3, send energy from the brain into the ERC. Okay, so from your brain down to the ERC here, send first time, second time, third time. And then step 4, that's where you continuously direct energy into the brain and transmit it into the ERC. Okay, so it's the line going like this. And let the warmth spreads on its own. Okay, so now I will play a demonstration audio. I will leave these formula on the screen here. We will practice this together, everyone. Okay, so you can read the formula and you can listen to this audio. Okay, let's start. This is practice session for brain cell activation frequency. Timer 5 minutes and 30 seconds for participant above 18 years old. Step 1. Recite silently once. Receive cosmic divine light new era NOG level 1 frequency band. Brain cell activation frequency. Step 2. Receive energy into the brain. Receive first time. Receive second time. Receive third time. Step 3. Send energy from the brain into the ERC. Send first time. Send second time. Send third time. Step 4. Continuously direct energy into the brain and transmit it into the ERC. Let the warmth of energy spread on its own until alarm rings. Okay, everyone. So we have just completed the formula together. And so what I'll do is I will send out this formula to everyone. And on the screen right now, you can see the QR code, okay, to our level 1 and 2 English group. Okay, so we have in the middle here, we have the chat group. That's where you can actually ask question. I understand that we're a little bit over time now, so probably we don't have enough time to ask question because Mr. Lee will be transmitting healing energy in about half an hour. And so if you have any question, okay, feel free to pop that into the chat group. So you can just scan this QR code in the middle here. And then the level 1 and 2 English channel, that's when you receive the, lots of announcements and post. And then you have the NLG notification English channel. So that's just the general channel, okay? So please scan these QR codes, everyone. And I will post the formulas on our Telegram groups here. And so thank you everyone for participating. And before we wrap this up, make sure that you scan this QR code and please ask us any question that you need to know that if you don't understand something, please ask us questions before you practice, okay? So today, we actually introduce you to energy, that it is a practice-based method, helps you to flourish in all aspects of life, and to use this energy, you need to have energy connection, which you can have when you regulate yourself to the +1 -1 frequency. And this frequency is embedded in your everyday practice of love and morality through the way that you treat other people, the way that you say things to other people, as well as the way that you treat yourself. So build a strong understanding of these elements in this foundation level in order to move forward and to thrive in this method, and as well as to enable greater miracles. Okay. So I'll see you in tomorrow's session. And remember that we also have tomorrow's session that you need to complete as well. We will have another activation, which is very different from this one. And if you feel mild headache, remember the breathing techniques that I just tell you about. And so thank you everyone for participating. On behalf of all participants today, I'd like to say thank you to our energy founder, Mr. Fukley. A huge thank you to everyone working behind the scene, making this work. And thank you everyone for your support and your love and your participation. And I'll see you tomorrow in our second sessions of level 1. Okay. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.